Have you ever felt like you're giving everything, your time, your attention, your emotional energy, but somehow you're still not chosen? She keeps you close, but never commits. She leans on you, confides in you, enjoys your presence. Yet when it comes to clarity, she disappears. What if I told you she's not confused? She's using you. And she's not doing it with cruelty or manipulation you can easily spot. She's doing it with sweet lies, soft phrases, harmless sounding sentences. Words that feel comforting but are designed to keep you on standby. Once you recognize these lies, you'll never hear them the same way again. Let's start with the first one, and it's the one that traps more men than any other. Lie number 1. I'm over my ex. On the surface, this sounds reassuring. You hear it and think, good. She's available. She's emotionally free. There's a real chance here. But psychologically, this lie is rarely about honesty. It's about avoiding emotional emptiness. The psychology behind it. After a breakup, many women fear emotional silence. Not loneliness, but the absence of emotional stimulation. So they look for an emotional cushion, someone stable, someone attentive, someone who listens, someone like you. She may truly want to be over her ex, but wanting and being are not the same thing. How this shows up in real life. She tells you she's moved on, but somehow her ex keeps appearing in conversation. Not always in longing, often in criticism. He was toxic. He didn't treat me right. I learned so much from that relationship. And you think, she's processed it. But what's actually happening is this. Her ex still lives in her emotional system. You're not the future, you're the buffer. Patterns you'll notice. Hot-cold behavior. Sudden mood shifts, sad quotes on social media, emotional withdrawal after closeness. You become the one who stabilizes her, not the one she builds with. You're not the choice. You're the bandage. The closing insight. If her ex still lives in her head, you'll never live in her future. And if you accept that role, she has no reason to move on because you're already doing the emotional work. Let's move to lie number 2. Lie number 2. We don't need labels. This one sounds mature. It sounds evolved, modern, emotionally intelligent, but in reality, it's one of the most strategic phrases a woman can use when she wants all the benefits of a relationship without any of the responsibility. The psychology behind it. Labels create accountability. Once something is defined, expectations exist. And ambiguity protects the person who cares less. How this plays out. You behave like a boyfriend. You show up, you're consistent, you listen, you support. But when you ask a simple question like, so, what are we? She dodges. Why do we need to define it? Let's just see where things go. I don't want to put pressure on this. And notice something important. The relationship doesn't change. Only the clarity is delayed. Patterns you'll notice. She avoids defining the connection. She enjoys your effort, but keeps options open. She resists commitment, but expects consistency. You're emotionally invested. She's strategically vague. The insight most men miss. Ambiguity always benefits the person who cares less. If she wanted clarity, labels wouldn't feel like pressure. They'd feel like alignment. Let's keep going. Lie number 3. You're different from other guys. This one hits the ego, and that's exactly why it works. The psychology behind it, this is called ego bait. It taps into a man's desire to feel chosen, unique, special. You hear this and think, finally, she sees me. But words like this are often used to replace consistent behavior. What it looks like in reality. She tells you you're different, more mature, more understanding, not like the others. Yet, she flakes. She disappears for days. She resurfaces when it's convenient. Her words go up, her actions go down. Patterns you'll notice. Compliments without follow-through. Praise paired with inconsistency. Emotional closeness without reliability. You feel validated, but not prioritized. The brutal truth. If you were truly different, she wouldn't need to say it, she'd show it. Consistency doesn't announce itself, it demonstrates. And this is where many men get trapped. They keep investing, hoping words will turn into behavior. They rarely do. At this point, you should start noticing something. These lies aren't aggressive, they're gentle. They don't push you away, they keep you close. And in part 2, we're going deeper. Because the next 3 lies aren't just emotional, they're transactional. They involve money, intimacy, and control. If this already sounds familiar, comment, I've heard these. If you're still here, I want you to pause for a second, because by now, something uncomfortable should be forming in your chest. A pattern. Not about women being bad, not about manipulation in a cartoonish way, but about how soft words can quietly replace real intention. And now we're moving into the next layer, where emotional ambiguity turns into practical advantage. Let's continue. Lie number 4, I don't care about money. This lie is rarely spoken defensively. It's usually said casually, almost proudly, as if she's distancing herself from something shallow. But psychologically, this lie is about image management, not values. The psychology behind it. Many women want to be seen as noble, above materialism, not that kind of girl. So they brand themselves with words, while selecting men based on lifestyle, access, and experience. Words build the image. Behavior reveals the truth. How this shows up in real life. She says she doesn't care about money, but notice what she enjoys. Upscale restaurants, spontaneous trips, events that require spending. She gets bored on simple dates. Disengaged when things are low effort, unless you're putting in the effort. And something else quietly happens. She never offers to contribute. Patterns you'll notice. She shows up when you're spending. She disappears when you slow down. She never initiates plans that cost her anything. You're not dating. You're subsidizing her lifestyle. The uncomfortable insight. A woman who only shows up when you're spending is a woman who's spending you. And the moment you stop providing, the emotional warmth fades too. Let's move on, because lie number 5 goes even deeper. Lie number 5. I don't usually do this. This sentence is dangerous because it creates a powerful illusion that you are an exception. The psychology behind it. This lie accelerates trust. It makes you feel like something rare is happening, something intimate. But in manipulation dynamics, this phrase is used to lower your guard, speed up emotional investment, justify taking without balance. Real vulnerability doesn't need narration. How it plays out. She says this right after you. Pay for something significant. Offer emotional support. Do a favor that costs you time or effort. I don't usually open up like this. I don't usually move this fast. I don't usually ask for help. But notice how smoothly it's said. No hesitation, no discomfort, just well-delivered intimacy. Patterns you'll notice. She repeats the phrase in different situations. It appears right before or after she receives something. The closeness doesn't deepen, it resets. You feel closer, but the relationship doesn't progress. The truth most men miss: authentic vulnerability is quiet. Manipulation is polished. Real openness feels awkward, messy, uncertain. If it sounds scripted, it probably is. Now let's talk about one of the most damaging lies of all. Lie number 6. I need space, but I don't want to lose you. This sentence feels respectful, empathetic, balanced, and that's why it works so well. The psychology behind it. This is known as a bench strategy. She doesn't want you close, but she doesn't want you gone. So she creates emotional distance without releasing control. How it looks in real life. She asks for space, but she still texts when she's lonely, calls when she's overwhelmed, reappears during emotional dips. There's no timeline, no structure, just a vague request that keeps you waiting. Patterns you'll notice. Space without clear boundaries. Contact initiated only on her terms. Emotional access without commitment. You're expected to be understanding, patient, available, but not chosen. The insight that changes everything. Space without boundaries isn't space, it's control. Real space has a reason, a time frame, a direction. Anything else is just a way to keep you on hold. Now let me ask you something directly. Do you see what's happening here? Individually, each lie feels harmless. Together, they form a system. A system where words create comfort, actions avoid responsibility. You invest while she remains undecided. And in part 3, we're going to expose the final 3 lies, the ones that turn men into emotional utilities. The twist is coming. If you recognize yourself in this, comment "still watching." If you've made it this far, something should be clear now. These aren't accidents, they're not misunderstandings, and they're definitely not mixed signals. They are soft exits that never fully exit. Let's finish this, because the final 3 lies are the ones that keep men stuck the longest. Lie number 7. You deserve someone better than me. This one sounds kind, almost selfless, but psychologically, it's one of the cleanest ways to reject you without feeling guilty. The psychology behind it. This is rejection wrapped in praise. She positions herself as the problem, so you can't argue without looking insensitive. It allows her to avoid commitment, preserve her self-image, keep emotional access if she wants. How it plays out. She tells you how good you are, how kind, how rare, and then she still doesn't choose you. No escalation, no consistency, no clarity. Patterns you'll notice. Compliments increase. Commitment stays at 0. You're encouraged to stay, but not step closer. You're rewarded emotionally, but excluded romantically. The inside men need to hear. If she truly believed you were right for her, she wouldn't excuse you, she'd choose you. Words are cheap. Choice is not. Lie number 8. You just get me. This is one of the most misleading phrases of all, because understanding feels like intimacy, but it isn't always attraction. The psychology behind it. This is emotional dumping, not bonding. You are safe, available, non-threatening, which makes you perfect for emotional release, but not necessarily desire. How it looks in real life. She calls when she's overwhelmed, texts when she's anxious, vents when life collapses. But when she's happy, she disappears. You don't get invited into the joy, only the chaos. Patterns you'll notice. She contacts you during crises, rarely initiates fun or romance. You know everything about her pain, but nothing about her plans. You're not her partner. You're her emotional storage unit. The truth. You're not her safe place. You're where she puts feelings she doesn't want to hold alone. That's not connection. That's convenience. Lie number 9. I'm not ready for a relationship. This is the final lie and the most misunderstood. The psychology behind it, not ready, doesn't mean incapable. It means unwilling with you. Because notice this, she's still texting, still accepting attention, still asking for support, just without commitment. How it plays out. She uses reflective language. I'm working on myself. I don't want to rush. And just not in the right headspace. But months go by, nothing changes. Patterns you'll notice. Emotional closeness without progression. Philosophical explanations instead of action. You're kept close, but never claimed. The hard truth. Women don't delay relationships they truly want. They delay decisions they don't want to make. The revelation, the pattern reveal. Now step back. Look at all 9 lies together. Do you see it? These aren't random phrases. They're strategies. Soft, polite, emotionally pleasant. Ways to take, time, attention, money, emotional labor. Without giving clarity in return. Here's the real twist. The problem isn't that women say these things. The problem is that men accept ambiguity as kindness, and that's where the cycle begins. Final truth, the lesson. Let this sink in. You don't lose women by having standards. You lose the women who planned to use you, and that's not a loss. That's filtration. Actionable advice. Do this, not that. From now on, judge behavior, not words. Invest in proportion to clarity. Walk away from ambiguity, calmly, silently. No speeches, no ultimatums, no emotional explanations. Clarity doesn't need persuasion. If this video hit you, it's not because you're weak. It's because you've been generous in a world that rewards boundaries. Comment below, which lie hit you the hardest? Like the video if this opened your eyes. Subscribe if you're done being the backup plan. Share this with a man who needs clarity, not motivation. Because once you hear these lies clearly, you'll never hear them the same way again.